the releases of March have been announced for Dystopian Wars and Armoured Clash, and boy, do we have a surprise. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another video of Love and War Games. Today, we cover, as we can see on the top left of the screen, the March releases for both Dystopian Wars right here and for Armoured Clash right there. We were expecting for sure the Covenant to have their little boxes. So the main flagship battle group, the infantry, the armored regiment, we know this so far. But we had a little surprise. We have the Gotham battle fleet set for both the Union and the Alliance. So it's like the sequel of the Columbia battle fleet set. This was not expected. I'm very happy that we have this. Like twice in a row that we have Union releases, and it's quite rare we have it. But the main surprise is the thing you can see right there. It is we finally have, and way earlier than was expected, the aircraft for Armoured Clash. I don't understand what happened. There is a new planning that has been updated with everything, but they come much earlier than we thought. They were supposed to come like at summer at best, and in March they are already here. We have pictures, we have rules already. We will cover all of this. We're very excited about that. And we have some teasers for what is coming even later on in Russians for Armoured Clash, some Sultanate for Armoured Clash as well. So stay until the end to have a look at this. We start with the different aircrafts for Armored Clash, and I'm very happy about this because, like, I mean, I love aircrafts, like everybody does. And they've been released in those small, very small, but very cute little boxes. I just absolutely love them. I take this opportunity to apologize for the whole setup. Like, they just made it an emergency. I'm actually currently on vacation. I don't have my usual phone and the computer and everything, so I'm doing this on my mom's computer. So apologies for the if the sound is not great or anything, but I needed to cover the news. These new boxes, like for example, the Defiant Fighter, who looks extremely cute. Like with, I love this little like booster pack of a box. And take a look at the miniature itself. It is brilliant. Like it does look exactly like the Defiant Fighter from the SRS token. This is something that is going to be true of basically any aircraft that you will see for Armored Class. It's basically exactly the SRS tokens, of course, zoomed out. And from what I think I remember from a previous interview, they actually first modeled the SRS tokens like larger scale with the idea that they're going to be in Armored Clash, and then they sized them down with maybe losing some detail for the tokens, but they already from the very beginning of this token age thing, they had the idea of what they would look like in Armored Clash. And have a look at this beauty. Like it does look absolutely like a World War II British ship aircraft. It looks a bit like I know some people compare it to the Spitfire. It reminds me more of the like the late war like Hurricane and stuff. Let's take a look at this picture. But as you can see, they have a little rear gunner, which is beautifully painted. Like I love the this. Great job on those that painted this. So they do have a literal gunner here. Here you can see this with its color scheme. It's absolutely lovely. In Armored Clash, these gunner used to mean for a while that they were better for intercepting. Now they just lost it, which is very sad because aircraft in interception in dystopian wars are terrible and it's a waste of resource. But this is a story for another time. And yeah, as you can see from the pictures here, yeah, it does look a little bit like the Spitfire. Like I mean, all the British planes look similar, like those fighter planes. I said hurricane and I was wrong. Like it's more like a typhoon. This is the one I was thinking, the one that can make some ground to air to ground attack. It does remind me like this, but none of them have a rear gunner because these would have rear gunners usually. Maybe I'm wrong, but if you have an example, I'm very willing to hear. This is beautiful. Oh, this is actually a model. Only $140. I hope it's going to be $140. What we're getting in our market. Brilliant design, the most classical of them all, and yeah, cannot wait to see this on the table. Don't go, I do expect you to paint this little beauty very beautifully, and can't wait for this. We also have the Empire with the Doksuri fighter, with this very, very interesting shape with the engine on the side, which are also like weapons here. They have this giant fan thing. The painting, yeah, it's white, it's beautiful. And yeah, it's a generic fighter. Do we have some more fluff than what we heard? So it's a resin lacquer shell. I was like, okay, it means it's miniature made of resin. We didn't see yet what are they going to be made of, but I suppose it's going to be made of resin. Like it's pretty sure. Like, I don't see in these little boosters how they are not going to be in resin. And yeah, at first it really reminded me of the P-38, like this plane because of the rear wings locked in the rear. I can see why it looks similar. But I saw someone sharing a picture of a Japanese prototype with the fan. Like it's really like exactly the same. I mean, the P-38 looks like this, but he also had the little cannon in the front, and I cannot find back which plane it was. So if you remember the name, type it in the comments, and I will. Thank you very much. And as always, you know how it works, thumbs up and everything. But if you put a comment, you can win an entire Union Armada or Guegum army. So do put a little comment. Let us know what you think about these aircraft. Then my favorite because I play Union, but not only. It's not just doom on these things. It's not as beautiful, but yeah, this is a Corsair, and it's very brilliant because like all Americans, like they couldn't just get a machine gun; they had to put Gatlings on the rear. It looks well. This one is a copy of the Corsair. Like there is no doubt where it comes from with these very specific like cockpit and the wings. Like I don't know how you call it, like W wings or something. Yeah, it looks like a Corsair from World War II. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, this is a Corsair. These guys are like exactly the same. Well, which is fine. Like, I mean, I like that it just is steampunk with the exposed engine here. It's a steampunk reaction engine version of the Corsair, which is great. Like, I love the Corsair, probably one of my favorite planes of World War II in terms of design. Yeah, it looks absolutely brilliant. I don't remember why they used it only in Pacific rather than Europe. Maybe it's only carried like on Heli-carriers, and that was the reason. Anyway, let's not talk too much about it. I can talk a lot of press otherwise. Yeah, it looks brilliant. It has Gatling, obviously, and this this is beautiful. I'll talk about the roles of the aircraft in just a second, but first let's finish on the side role of the Covenant. And those in the Dystopian Wars version, they used to not gain weight of fire because they're not really a pilot, like some human body or brain that was linked inside the cockpit. It's not a real pilot. And that they were tougher to destroy, but they didn't gain many benefits, like offensive benefits. Like that they have this very Covenant-looking weapon in the front. And at first I was like, this doesn't look like any aircraft at all, like with this giant fan, like repulsor and in the rear, like it looks very alien. And someone like thanks Ithilian on the this like our Love and War Games Discord to say like, no, this actually looks like a German aircraft. And I was like, okay, maybe it's inspired. No, 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 it's really a copy. I mean, look at this. It really has exactly this shape, even the flat nose in the front. They come here, yeah. They really, you can see where it's coming from. And someone said that the German scientist that designed this thing and gave it its name, Lipit, was it? Was in the fluff board earlier, apparently, and he deserted to the Covenant, which was the reason they gave, but apparently was born with this idea, this scientist, which is interesting. I like this idea. So we have those four different aircraft that have been released, one for each of the factions to be released so far. Later on, they've been announced that whenever a faction is released, there's going to be the huge starter box first and foremost. And then, as always, the next month, there's going to be the different boxes, as we saw, like infantry, the regiment box, the like flagship box. And there's going to be also at this moment, so the second wave, there is going to be the aircraft for the faction. So quite early on after the afterwards. Before we talk about the rules itself, I just wanted to show this image that was shared on the British, English Discord of Dystopian Wars and Armoured Clash, like the War Cradle, I think. And you can see that it's quite huge. This is a little cavalry of the Russians, actually. Those are hussars from the Russians, so Polish troops, I guess, like with these threaded motorbikes, which are very cool. But you can see the size of those. And it's really a real stuff. Like, look at the cockpit. Like, there is a human that can sit there. I remember in the people say like, "Oh, they're so big compared to tanks. It's not realistic." And it's like, guy, like planes are much bigger than tanks. Like, just to have the wings, to have everything. They're not small drones like you have in your backyard. Like real aircrafts, even modern aircrafts, are absolutely massive. And yeah, though I like that they made them at the true scale. About the rules, like don't go say like, oh, let's wait for the teasers of the aircraft rules. As a reminder, the rules of the aircraft have been pointed, like shared a while ago. And here it logs. I'm in the countryside, so connection is not that great. It's going to take a while to upload the video. You can see here already aircrafts. So as a reminder, rules all for free on the Armoured Clash website. And it's very easy. You can click and then you arrive there. I will not make a deep dive on how to play aircrafts. Maybe I will do this a little bit later on, like when we receive the aircrafts, if we receive aircrafts. But there is a whole thing. It reminds me a little bit of Epic Armageddon, where they are outside of the terrain They deploy outside, and then you can intercept it. And then after they make an engagement, they can far away, and you can shoot them before or after. It's really interesting. I know they had some playtest recently in England to try and see how it is it playable and fun. And I really am excited to see what it's gonna be, if there's going to be any changes or whatever, or if it's fun. And finally, it's going to give a real role to the anti-aircraft units that we used to have before and that were pretty useless until now. So that's for the aircraft. This was the big news. There's going to be also a big news a little bit later on. For the Covenant, we've seen all of this recently. I will not talk more about those, but you know what we can get. I saw some videos being released already of the unboxing of the Covenant starter set. We didn't receive it yet. There's some delivery problems to go to France for some reason. Like we always have at least 1 or 2 weeks of delay. Yeah, it happens. But we do expect a full deep dive Tactica as soon as we get it. And the thing to note is that it is the artillery, like tank armored regiment version. For the unit, it was infantry, but here you can really have the full like, crab walker tank pack with these giant quadrupeds. This is also a quadruped, and this is a tripod with some built cavalry and some scythe and those very heavy guys. Really love the theme of the Covenant, but I cannot play all the sections. I do expect one of our Covenant player, Ethelium, to get them and paint them and to bring them for a battle report soon. My union is currently being painted, and I hope it will be finished like middle of March. And same for the Empire for the channel. We're really boosting it up. And we expect some Armoured Clash battle report as soon as at least 2 armies are painted. Crown is done. We just need one more, and we have some terrains in it pretty nice. We have such crazy terrain. You will see that like we can make a massively beautiful table. Expect our first battle report as soon as possible. So you can get the armored regiment, as we have said. And the surprise is that you have these heavy infantry in armored regiment, but at this point they are more like abominations. Like they're basically these caven super heavy monstrosities, more than they are infantry. And you have all those guys. I like these guys. They have the aircraft, right? They do have the aircraft rule, which is fun for some cavalry like infantry. But, they're not going to be the only flying units anymore for long. And the infantry regiment, which is just filled to the brim with infantry. Like, I mean, you buy one box, it's like what, 30, 40 euros? Yeah, I just checked. Infantry regiment for the crown, for example, which was fine. It's 35 euros by base, so less than 30 euros if you buy on my hobby place. Thank you. If you do that, you can choose us in the basket to remember, and we get 5% back. So thanks again if you do that. But for less than 30 euros, look at how many stands you get. You get 4 stands of like the discount. It's like 8 and 5, 13 and 8 is going to be 21. So already have 21 stands of infantry, plus this 25 stands of infantry, including those aerial guys, plus 8 stands of cavalry, like those very cool spider cavalry. And for 30 years, you have less than 1 year per stand of infantry or cavalry. That is insane. And this is the least good deal that you can get because it's literally you're paying super expensive per box compared to just buying the starter set and everything. Wow, the Armored Clash is a great, great deal. And I have some of our painter, like Yasan, for example, who's working on the Union right now, and he said like it's very solid bits. Like I was like, do you want to magnetize? He said like, no need. It's very good plastic. Just put them in your box. You can even put them all in your shoebox. They will not break. It's super resilient plastic. And we're happy to see to hear that. Maybe I will still magnetize a bit. But like let's look at this. Like I'm not like it's such a great deal. I also play Legions in Imperialis. Damn, it's not the same deal at all. And as promised, I wanted to show you the little teasers that we have of the Sultanate. And isn't this amazing? This is a Kavasi ATV, and it looks great. Like, it looks Mad Maxy and in all the best ways. Like, it looks incredible. I have to say, if they had shown this earlier on, I might have not even have started Union, and I would be like, okay, I want this as my crazy riders for my main force. They have, as you can see here, some multi-purpose rocket pods, anti-air, and everything. This looks great. This caliper auto rifle, okay, but especially this, the deep cannon which probably is going to be artillery because in Dystopian Wars, this is an artillery that can be used for shooting beyond line of sight. It's one of the very, very rare weapons, maybe the only one in the game that can shoot without line of sight. And it is probably going to be like something that either is used as an artillery, either as an anti-air piece. And it looks absolutely brilliant. I can absolutely imagine this as a horde going out after a Lakota land train of the Union. You can make some very brilliant scenarios of like ambushing the convoy. And we also see the Pillar of Lights, probably some order ship. And this is basically an overcraft. It almost looks like, I don't know, it looks like something the Primaris would choose in Warhammer. It looks absolutely insane. Look, there is a little thing, like little stuff which might fly because it's an overcraft. Yeah, it's basically a repulsor, like, to be honest. But it looks so good. And I love it. And I wanted to share those little details with you. Finally, we finish with the Gotham Battle set. And again, as you heard, this is the sequel of the Columbia Battlefield set. It's basically exactly a Columbia Battlefield set, except you get the Gotham instead of the Columbia, which is fine. It means you will not have enough bits because look, this is plastic. You will not have enough bits to build the what was the name? Like like the landing version. Give me a sec. It was a Saratoga and the Sumter. Yeah, it was the Sumter and the Saratoga. Sumter is the landing class. Saratoga is the battleship version that can fight. Yeah, you will not have this because you have one per sprue of those little plastic things, and apparently both will be consumed by the Gotham. Yeah, the Sumter as well. So those two versions, they show this, and I'm very happy because they're beautifully painted, but you will not be able to build them, which is fine. You will probably just want a couple of Gettysburgs to hold the front line, or maybe a couple of Providence that could work as well, or one Providence, one Gettysburg. Anyway, because the beach new is going to be the Gotham class carrier. And it looks like a Columbia. I really hope it's nearly as tough as a Columbia because it needs to be. Because as you might remember, for now, until the Gotham, every ship that could have those Talon autogyros were frontline, like close combat battleships because you need to activate, not to finish your activation. You need to start your activation to make a special operation within 20 inches to be able to launch your autogyros. And then, of course, they are very efficient, but then they don't even do damage right away. They do damage at the end of the turn. It's usually a one trick pony because maybe you will get in range and turn two if you're lucky to do this. So you will maybe do your damage at the end of turn two, and the enemy has the entire turn two to do damage upon you. And this is it. If you're lucky, maybe it's going to be turn three. So right now, the Talon auto gyros are fun, but they're not really great. And I hope this means that they are going to have a rework for the entire Union faction, specifically to fix the auto gyros, because everybody loves them, and they've never ever done great work in any of a battle report. And it's not just me, like any player of the Alliance, of the Union. Like we've had like 4 or 5 different players trying to make them work, trying to hide them behind islands, trying to put them in reserve, trying to let them charge behind a battleship to cover it. It never works. Well, sometimes it works, but it's like so much effort for not much. Uh, the turn one version, where you can just send them, kind of like the Imperium bombers, is okay. It's quite strong, but it's just a bonus that you unlock by having a battle fleet, like for example the Gotham. As a support piece, it never works even on battleship. If the Gotham is fragile and doesn't want to be too close, even though it seems to have quite fair broadside, and it has rockets and it wants to stay back like a normal carrier, it will never send autodrivers. I hope there is a boost to send them further away, a little bit like the Descartes has for the Covenant. So you're giving ideas to the playtest group if they are looking for ideas on how to fix it, or even better, just fix the autogyros for everyone. Allow us to send maybe half of the autogyros, but further away, and that's already going to be quite good. A little bit like SFS with a combat air patrol or something like this. They just don't work otherwise. What makes me a bit afraid, yeah, there is in part here, you have a lot of autogyros, I love it. What makes me afraid is that they say that despite its size, the shallow route allowed it access coastline and large river of the Americas, which is very fun in a flood game, or you make a role-playing game and stuff. You can have a Gotham like going up the Mississippi, very cool, and providing close air support. I love the concept. The game is looking more. You have shallow drive. Great. You can be closer to an island. It's not going to help you at all. Shallow drive might be the worst rule to have on a car. Yeah. Like, okay, you can get a little bit closer than an island to hide a little bit better, but this guy wants to be close to the opponent. How is it going to work? If you just say like, okay, it's a fragile carrier that wants to be in melee. But don't worry, it has shallow drought. I'll be like, thanks, guys. What am I supposed to do with it? So, just making fun of this, but we wait for the rules and we'll see how it goes. I really, really want to make it work and do expect it on the battlefield as soon as possible. It's beautiful, and I'm very excited to put it on the table. Let's hope the rules will not be terrible. And yeah, I like this that they continue to put some both Union and Alliance releases. Do note that they confirmed that there is going to be the Salvador for the Souza, so South Americans, later on, and this is going to be a pure Souza, like South American release. This is still cross like Confederate, so Union and Alliance. Don't worry, there are going to be some real South American shit coming later on, and they will have their own unique design. Just like this, like it looks like these helicopter carriers. I think it was from World War II as well. Let me see if I can find a picture. Yeah, no, I couldn't find it. I kind of remember it being used during the Battle of Tarawa, those kind of landing ships, and of course the Americans called the ship the Tarawa later on, and it took me too much time to find it. Still on vacation, not spending too much time on research. I'm very excited. I think this guy next to Colombia will look absolutely brilliant side by side. And I'm absolutely buying another Columbia. Maybe the version that also has tail and auto gyros to put them on the table. And yeah, it's gonna look brilliant. Just please rework the auto gyros because currently having to activate within 20 inches once you activate them maybe once per game. Yeah, maybe lower the power, but allow us to have fun with them from turn one and turn two, etc. Increase the range, reduce the power. That's gonna be more fun for everyone. Okay, we reached the end of the video. I hope that you enjoyed it, guys, and I'll try to make it short. As always, I get carried on because I'm really passionate about all these things. As always, you know how it works. Thumbs up, subscribe, share with your friends, and especially give us your best comments. And you gain for each comment a chance, like a ticket to win at the beginning of the summer, like middle of the summer. When I move out, there will be this little game to win some armies, either for conquest, either for Dystopian Wars. It's going to be either in July, either in September, depending on when my apartment is going to be delivered by the building company. And if you want even more tickets, remember that there is a link to the Discord right below our Love and War Games Discord. We make a few video games that challenges every month where we just gather, we see what games people want to play, and we play all together and can gain 5 tickets by participating to one of these gaming evening slash events. Thank you very much. Take care of yourself, guys. And until the next video, remember to keep things fair in love and war games. Bye.